Hello, India, and all of our Indian friends everywhere else in the world.
Wow.
Welcome to Movie Community College.
I'm going to say hello to all the average-looking people. Not the hotties, not the uglies, just the average people.
Most of us are just average.
What's up, average people? Woo, 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 woo.
Most of us are just average. Not everybody can look like Deepika. Some of us are just average. That's
or
okay.
Rajnikant. Although I kind of do.
No,
I'm working
you
on
definitely don't.
I'm working on it. I'm
Definitely
going to go do some
don't.
push-ups.
Not everybody can look like Deepika or Shahid Kapoor, but some of us are average, and we're okay with that.
My name is Jeremy. I'm known as Professor. We have a lot of new people. We're a husband and wife team.
Yes.
I got the Warrior Queen here, Tish. She was a mail order bride.
That is not
It
true.
cost me 842 payments of $199.99.
Dude, you couldn't afford my price. So I'm just saying, I was not mail order.
Then I had to trade because I couldn't afford. I had to do some trades.
Oh
I had a
my
really
gosh.
nice old Cutlass that I traded in and a horse.
I'm priceless.
Yes, you are. You are priceless. So this is our movie review for Toilet.
Ek Prem Katha. A love story.
A love story, yes. Now, I'll let you start, and then I'll weave in like I always do.
Okay. Well, let's start with the obvious, that this is a very delicate topic.
It is.
They chose to handle a serious situation with humor.
Always a good choice.
I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that it was going to be a comedy. I thought it was going to be a drama. So much to my surprise, early on, it was obvious this was going to be a comedy. Akshay is hilarious.
Yes.
He is just
He is
so
funny. He is
funny.
Akshay, if you're watching, you're becoming my favorite actor.
Yes. Mine is still Big B. Mine will always be Big B. But there are other good actors, and Akshay is one of them. So we've seen him in serious roles like Airlift, and he was phenomenal in that. But I think I really like him better when he's in these funny roles.
He is funny. Instant Replay was hilarious.
Action Replay.
Same thing. Doesn't matter. Nobody saw it, so
We did.
we did.
But anyhow,
I would own
they chose to handle a very serious topic with humor. This is based on a true story from 2011, where there was a villager who, after being married for one day, said, "I'm out. My
Peace
in-laws
out.
do not have a toilet here. I've never lived in an area where we didn't have a toilet, and so I'm out. I'm going to divorce my husband unless and until you get toilets there." And so we know that they did get toilets, and so her and her husband did not split up. They did stay married.
This becomes then the journey of
How do they get
you
the toilet?
take the toilet and
Yes.
introduce it to an area that's very rural, that's very much entrenched in tradition. And I
Right.
think that this is an important film because this is a bigger narrative that is going on in India.
Yes.
When Modi signed the anti-defecation law, where we can no longer
Anti-open defecation law.
No, he signed the no poop law. You can't poop anywhere in India.
That would be rough.
You have to go to
Yeah.
Pakistan to go poop, which makes a very long line to get across.
Yes. Anyhow, anti-open
Yes,
defecation.
and India is, I believe, the kings of the East, mentioned in the Bible, and you are going to see an explosion of modernization, of foreigners coming, of travel, and all these things. So you have this very ancient rural traditions colliding with modern technology, and as you mesh these two things together, from time to time, I'm sure you're going to have issues where people don't understand. They don't approach the modernization with the proper technique
Right.
or understanding of the elders in the village, and the villagers got to understand we're moving on. No longer can you be peeing in your front yard in front of everybody.
Well,
go do it in the toilet.
and here's a couple of
It doesn't
things.
mean you're less religious.
Exactly. Here's a couple of things. Akshay's dad was so entrenched in his traditions and customs that he was trying to make it like, well, these are what our ancient scriptures say, and therefore we have to follow everything the ancient scriptures say.
Put out the context, hermeneutics.
Anupam Kher
Yes.
was able to correct him. And here's the thing. They went to the doctor. back in BC times, you didn't have the same sort of medical care. Well, nobody is saying let's only use that kind of medical care. No, they have adapted and adopted new customs. They have come into modern day times when it comes to that sort of thing. So why not with the toilet? This is a health issue. It's not unhealthy to have it in your home, because there are actually ways where you can make sure that your toilet in your home is very sanitary. But it is an unsanitary thing to have everybody going out into the village like that. Or like you said with the dad, he was just doing it
he
right
would just
there,
go out in the front,
right there in
he'd
the
get on
front
his
yard,
knees so
basically.
nobody could see while
right.
he was peeing.
But everybody knows what he's doing.
Yes, right.
The other thing is,
And he came up behind him
and
like,
put his
surprise. He's like, oh.
but then the
Then he peed
dad
on his hands and he touched his
and
face.
he touched
like,
Akshay's face, like, oh, dude, oh, that was very cringy. What I was going to say is, when you're in a situation like this where India was oppressed for so many years under British rule and others that came before them, and so they've only been an independent country for about 71 years, you're going to have growing pains because you are modernizing while you already have 1.3 billion people. And we've said this in prior videos. America was able to modernize as we were growing.
It's going to be harder for India.
It's harder to modernize when you already
now,
have grown population-wise.
That is a functionality issue.
Yes, and so I think they're doing a phenomenal job when given the circumstances of how many people and how many minds you have to change and how many minds you have to educate to bring into modern times when it comes to basic things like a toilet.
Right.
So I think they handled the subject matter very well with humor. And I loved the movie. I loved his wife. She was so feisty. And
did it remind you of anybody?
What are you saying, dear? Yeah, there were times that she reminded me of me and how feisty she was and fighting for. This wasn't just about her. She's fighting for all these village women too, because listen, these women, why do you think they go out there together? Safety in numbers, right? And even though there were a lot of them, and so they could be safe in that way, Akshay pointed out correctly that there are women that get lynched and raped because they're out there. Because dudes they're flashing their lights on them, they're harassing them because they want to see their nakedness. Well, that's not acceptable. People should want to protect their wives, their daughters, their mothers. And what finally changed the situation here? How is it that Akshay's family finally got the toilet? I mean, he finally said, I'm putting this thing in, after trying to steal the porta potty, having his wife go to his grandmother's house because she had a toilet, going to the train, and she almost got stuck on the train. I was so scared. I thought she was going to get like separated from him. But what finally changed things, he builds this toilet, and then the father and all the villagers come and try to desecrate it and tear it down. But the toilet is still there, minus half the walls, and what changes things?
Yep, his mom slipping and falling.
Yes, Akshay's grandmother slips and falls, and she has to go to the bathroom. And so Akshay's dad realizes, oh gosh, I have to help her. And then he realizes, okay, yeah.
I see the wisdom in this.
I see the wisdom in this. People need privacy when they're doing their business, okay? It's not wrong to want to have privacy. Women in particular really value their privacy because it's a lot easier for men to go pee outside than it is for women.
That's very true.
The other thing, how unrealistic...
Of the ding-dong.
Yes. How unrealistic and uncruel was it to expect women to go in the morning and then hold it all day
I was just
after
like,
you've been drinking water and eating food?
Yes.
Not to mention, and I brought this up to you many times, after intimate relations, you don't think she's going to need to go to the bathroom?
You need to. It's good for you. You get a bladder infection.
Yes. So I was just like, wow, blown away by this film. I loved how they handled it. I loved how feisty she was. I loved the support she had of her parents. And we weren't quite sure if Anupam was her grandfather or her uncle because...
He loved him some Sonny Leone, did he not?
Yes,
that was
he
always
did.
like Sonny Leone.
He cracks me up. Every time I see him in something, I love him even more.
He is the villain in...
you told me in Love, Sonia.
Yes.
When you said, guess who the villain was? I'm like,
Yeah.
Nawazuddin Siddiqui. It
Yeah.
has to be. And you're like, Anupam Kher.
Yes.
What? He's not meant to be a
That's
villain.
what it looked like to me. Maybe I was wrong. Hopefully
He's
I'm
not
wrong.
meant to
He's
be
a
a
great
villain.
dude. He's a great dude.
So anyhow, final grade for toilet?
Well, hold on a second. I had something very, very...
Insightful?
Yes, I don't remember what it was now.
Oh.
What my favorite scene in the film, I think. What was your favorite scene?
It's really hard to say because I loved every time he was going out of his way to try to accommodate his wife, and he was constantly coming up with what he would call quick fixes.
Quick fix.
Yes, I loved when him and his brother were stealing the porta potty.
Yes.
That was so funny.
Yes.
You know, I think probably my favorite scene was after he gets the toilet all built and he's so excited, and then he comes out in the morning and his father had tried to lock him in the house, and he nevertheless makes his way out and then just goes after all these men and just starts thrashing them. I think that was my favorite scene.
My favorite scene was when they're stealing the porta pot and they made the one journalist who wrote the story that embarrassed them carry it out. And they said, "How do you feel now?" And he said, "I feel like Mother India."
Yes, that was so funny.
Yes, dude,
we
that was
understood that
awesome.
reference.
Yes. We
It
get
was
the
great.
references.
Yes, that was
Nice.
great. And they
I've
made
seen
him.
Mother India.
We have. Yes, we have.
I own Mother India.
And we did a review. They made him carry the porta potty
Yes, to teach him a lesson.
to teach him a lesson because he told them something and he thinks he's telling them in confidence, but you should always say this is off the record. He didn't, and so his words got published in the local paper, and he was made a laughing stock.
Yes, yes. So thank you so much for watching this.
You didn't give a final grade.
Final grade an A.
A,
Yeah,
absolutely.
solid A,
I agree.
solid A.
And this is in our top 100 list because these are movies that we think should be in the top 100. Maybe nobody else agrees, but these are our favorites.
Couple programming notes. Indu Sarkar. I'm going to start looking for that on the emergency. Thank you, everybody, for answering that
Yes.
video.
Sarkar means
I'm also
government.
looking for a Wednesday. Arjeet has said we should watch that.
Yes, lots of people have told us to watch
Stories
it.
by Rabindranath Tagore.
Rabindranath Tagore? That's my guess.
I've started a series on Netflix of it, and I'm going to be doing reviews on each episode. So like and subscribe.
Like
and
subscribe, hit the bell,
Smash it,
and
thrash
tell
it.
all your friends and family to do the same. Bye.